Morning, everyone. Welcome to the Eurail webinar. Welcome to 2019. Happy New Year. Hope you all enjoyed your Christmas festive season and had some time off and some quieter time in the office if you were working. Now, this is a really good webinar to tune into. I'm glad you're all here because every year Eurail generally will do something to update or change their product at the start of the year. This year is quite exciting. They've changed quite a large amount and it's a really beneficial change too. So we're going to crack into that today. As usual, I have Blaze on the other side of the ditch helping me out bright and early over in Australia. So if you have any questions, please type them as we go and I can answer them at the end, or Blaze can answer them as we're going as well. So just before I do crack into Eurail, I'm going to quickly touch on this. So yes, we have changed brand, we have changed our name. So Rail Europe did purchase us a few years ago, but we remained as Rail Plus as a subsidiary. We are now Rail Europe, so we're rebranded Rail Europe. So Rail Europe's head office are in Paris, but we also still have our head office in Melbourne, and we have our res team in Auckland as well. So for you, it is really important to know this is business as usual. It's only a brand or logo change, so it doesn't change how you log in, most importantly. The URL will still be Rail Plus if you still want to use that. A pop-up box will come up as you come on the website, and you just come out of that, go and log in as usual. That's just as usual. If you're not an agent, you do it will be referring them to the Rail Europe website where they won't log in. They also won't get contact details anymore, so they can't contact us directly. We are trying to defer them through to agents, which is great. So your login will be the same as your Rail Plus website. It hasn't changed. Your password hasn't changed. It's all the same. If you can't remember your password, just click Forgotten Reset and you can get that reset. So it is important to know that we haven't changed our product. We're still Europe as well as Great Train Journeys. So even though we are called Rail Europe because that's our main company now, we do have the Great Train Journeys, the sightseeing, pre-packaging in Canada, everything like that still available. Very important to note. So another important note on the rebrand is that we are trying to direct business to you guys. So that is why they won't be able to see our phone or email contact details. They will have to come through to you if they want to book, unless they want to go on the Rail Europe website. Also, pricing Rail Europe altogether should hopefully be more aligned now that we are branded Rail Europe. But if you do have any pricing discrepancies that are quite large, do send them through to me. I do want to know about those. Also with this, we do have new staff on board. So our peak season staff come on board every year, but this year we've got them on early, so they're nice and trained and ready to go, which is great. So if you have any more questions on that, please feel free to message me on our rebrand or anything like that, and I'm happy to talk you through it. So cracking into Eurail for this year, so these are what we will touch on today. So new permanently reduced pricing, which is fantastic. It's not a promo sale price anymore. It is permanent and it is cheaper, which is great. New countries have been added. And simplified pass options. So there's only a few passes to choose from now, which makes it a lot easier for the customer. There's further discounts, and the night train rule has been changed, which I'll talk about, and a few Czech Republic private carriers are now included for you to travel on with the Eurail Pass too. So firstly, we have the odd percentage of 37%. So a lot of you noted that last year that our promo deals were an odd 37% off, and this is the reason why. They were trialing it for this year, so now they are permanently up to 37% off from last year's pricing on the rail passes, which is fantastic. They are much cheaper, which is easier choices and much better prices for people as well. Still need the seat reservation, of course, but being 37% cheaper is so much more appealing to the traveller. There's also cheaper pricing on the single country and the Greek island pass as well. So this is not a promo sale price that ends. It will be continually this cheaper price for the year. And all the pricing's updated on our website. Brexit. So great timing. We are, this is probably one of the most exciting new changes for the Eurail Global Pass, is we're now welcoming Great Britain, Lithuania and Macedonia. So the Global Pass will now include Great Britain. So you now cover 31 countries. So this does, of course, still include the Eurostar, so you still need a seat reservation on that, but you can travel on trains in Great Britain, Lithuania, Macedonia on the Eurail Global Pass. So you don't have to have a global and a UK pass, which is fantastic. Just a thing to note is look into what trains you are doing in Great Britain though, because not all carriers or lines are covered by that inclusion of the Global Pass. The majority or the most popular ones generally are, but just check with us first if they are doing both to make sure. And because we've added Lithuania and Macedonia to Eurail, we now have the single country passes available for them as well. So, right pass. So you may have noticed we had quite a few different passes last year. We had a global, a single country, and 2, 3, and 4 bordering countries. Now the 2, 3, 4 bordering countries have gone. They are discontinued. You cannot purchase them this year. If they purchased last year, it's important to note they can still use it within 11 months of validity. So they can still use it this year if they purchased last year, but you cannot purchase these anymore. A few agents loved these, but just because of the cheaper pricing now of the global pass as well, it is actually more beneficial to do a global pass than what one of those 2, 3, 4 countries were, which is great. And it's now much easier for a client to select. They've only got a choice of a global pass or a one country pass. So much less confusing. Also, when trying to work out whether point-to-point or rail pass is best for the client, it's much easier with having only 2 options now. So those select ordering country passes have gone, so can no longer be purchased. So because of that, they have added a shorter duration to the global pass too, which is great. So the minimum last year was 5 days on a global pass. They've now added 3 days. So if they are only doing 1 or 2 bordering countries, or not even bordering countries, they can get a smaller duration on their global pass. So it does work out, this works out cheaper than doing the 2, 3, 4 country pass anyway. So that is why they have discontinued those. It's made it simpler and better price point. They've also added the 6-day within one month to the single country pass as well. So basically they can do 3, 4, 5, 6 or 8 days on a single country. So there's a lot more options, which is good, but it doesn't complicate things. It makes it easier, I believe, taking away all those 2, 3, 4 country passes. The exception is the Eurail France pass. So we do have Eurail Global, and then we have Eurail France pass, which is slightly different if they are going to do France in particular. Also, we have the Swiss pass too. Remember, that is not on Eurail, but is still there and available, which is a great pass. The travelling solo, they did used to get not as much discount, I guess you could say, because there was a saver pass. So it did cost more for solo travellers to travel. Now it's not the case because they have removed the saver pass completely due to the decrease in the global sale price of the pass. So the saver pass is gone, so it won't cost travellers travelling on their own anymore now, which is great. It won't generally cost a few 2 or more either, because it is 37% off what they used to be last year. Also, they've added the senior and youth discounts to all Eurail passes. There used to be some passes that had senior and youth discounts last year, but now all of them are senior. So senior is 60 plus, and then youth is 12 to 27. So a really good age bracket in Europe for youth. Really high age bracket, which is great. So definitely be recommending that. Remember that 2 children can travel free per adult on Eurail passes as well. So first and second class travel is now available on all pass types as well. It used to not be second class travel on all passes. You could only get them on some. So now all passes, you could do first and second. Obviously, I'd recommend first moreover than second when traveling within Europe, mainly because of your luggage storage. So you've got more luggage storage and you're more spread out, more relaxed seating as such. That's what's changed on those. Now, the good old night train rule, which confused a lot of people last year. So the night train, if you are using a Eurail pass, previously you had to use 2 days off your pass, the day you're departing, the day you're arriving, and it had to do with whether you were travelling before or after 7 p.m. So it was quite confusing. Now that's changed, it's nice and simple. They use 1 day only, so they are saving a day basically. And they use the day of departure only, and it doesn't matter what time the train leaves, which is fantastic, because this was really quite confusing to explain to customers and clients, and it sometimes made them avoid using a night train, and we don't want them to do that. So this is great, simple. If they have a Eurail pass, obviously they need to book a seat reservation or a cabin reservation in addition to the pass, but they use the day of departure of their train on the pass, is what they type in. And doesn't matter what time they're departing, as long as their overnight train is one train, not connecting 2 trains. Czech. So 2 private rail carriers in the Czech Republic have now been added to be valid with the Eurail pass, which is great. So private carriers do operate in all countries, but most of them you'll see a few different ones, like around the Cinque Terre, for example, they can't, or they can still use the rail pass, but down in the Amalfi Coast, they can't. So this is one of these. So the 2 private rail carriers, generally you wouldn't be allowed to use your rail pass, but now you can. So Czech Republic into Slovakia, Austria and Poland. So that's intercity long distance trains, Prague to Slovakia and Prague to Austria. Also the long distance bus service, which connects the RegioJet night train service, and then your Czech Republic to Slovakia. So they are now added, which is great. I always recommend to come through to the res team if you do have any specific trains that they're wanting to take like that, so we can tell you exactly before they go if it is included on the rail pass or not. Most of them are. Just there are a few private lines in Europe that are not included for the rail pass to travel on. So I just want to cover a few common misconceptions. So travelling on a rail pass in particular it was a misconception that you can only travel on multiple trains if they're part of the same journey. This is not the case. It is a day of travel, so you can take as many trains as you like or can within that day of travel. You just need to make sure you book any seat reservations if required. So if you're doing a journey that takes 3 sectors, that's fine, but you can still do more journeys that day. It doesn't have to be just those 3 sectors and then that day of your pass is over. So it is basically midnight to midnight, as many trains as you like on the Eurail system within that time. Swiss scenic trains, a few people believe these are not covered, so that's incorrect. Swiss scenic trains are covered, whether it's on the Eurail pass or the Swiss pass, but they do need seat reservations. So they are more scenic, more premium trains, but that doesn't mean that they're not covered. So they are covered by the Eurail pass. They just need to buy a seat reservation in addition to it, which obviously is discounted because they have a pass. So make sure people know that they can still do those trains, and I highly recommend them as well. They're fantastic over in Switzerland. Also, they can get the Swiss rail pass if they are going to be doing more extensive travel or want to go up the mountain peaks, etc., because there's more inclusions in that than there are in the Eurail pass. And the savings of discounts for Eurail in Europe is not 50%. You get 75% off your own travel on Eurail passes if traveling to Europe. You just need to fill out a form, and we can generally do that for you and a spouse as well. You just fill out the form under the specials tab on the website and you get 75% off your Eurail pass, which is an amazing discount. And we really want our agents to use that. We want you to experience the product, come back with feedback, let us know what you think as well. Obviously, you need to do seat reservations in addition to that as well. But because the rail passes are now 37% cheaper, you're getting a huge discount. So they're now 37% cheaper than last year, and then you're getting 75% off that cheaper price. So it really makes sense. Even if you're doing one or two sectors in Europe for your own travel, it is definitely worth doing a rail pass. So that is covered most of it for what's new really briefly. Now we have, I think most of you have possibly done this. We had a really good, I think about 600 people have done this quiz, which is fantastic. But if you haven't yet, make sure you go and do it because you can win a $100 voucher. So it's just 10 simple questions about what's new this year, what's changed with Eurail. There may be a few tricky questions that have been worded differently, but make sure you check that. But if you haven't done it, it's under the specials tab on the website, and you can win a $100 voucher. So that's really worth it, and you should know all of the information now by watching this, which is great. And then, so we love Europe and we love the world. So we're not just Europe, we are the world. We're great train journeys as well, but we do have exclusive specials coming. Especially for Europe, we have a Europe specials really full on coming in February, so keep an eye out for that, which is great. The Rail Expert program, which a lot of you have done in the previous years, is a fantastic training program, and I'd highly recommend doing that. That comes out in March this year, so the last year's one has now been pulled down. The new one comes out in March. You can do that in your own time, and it does really benefit you in terms of if you want to get on a FML. That is what we're looking at sales, obviously, but we're also looking at Rail Expert engagement. So do that training. It's really beneficial, especially being able to save all the product knowledge and come back to it later as well. I just want to touch on a change that came in December in case you missed it, which was our booking fee change. The booking fees are now, if you're booking online, $10 per person for the booking, not per sector, which is fantastic. Doesn't matter how many trains they're doing, it's $10 per person for the booking fee. Phone or email is a $50 booking fee. We also have a commission sheet. We have had all the time, but if you do want a commission sheet, it tells you exactly what commission you get on each product. Do let me know and I can send that to you so your store has that loaded as well. Now, does anyone have any questions this morning? We're getting a few. Let's look. Great. Great Britain presumably includes Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland is already covered by the Eurail pass and the Ireland Eurail pass. So the global pass would cover the entire UK, both Great Britain and Northern Ireland. So the question was, yeah, does it include Northern Ireland? Yes, it does in the new global. So basically, yeah, if they wanted to do anywhere over there, not Scotland, I don't believe, but if they want to do England or Ireland, that is included. Once again, check with us for the carriers and the lines if that's included on the new global pass. There's another question coming. Okay, is there any more questions? You can always email me and you will get sent this at the end of this as well. You'll get sent the presentation to watch if you missed it. These get loaded on our website too, so our old webinars from last year will be on there too if you want to recap on anything. Or if you want to do a training with the store in the mornings, this is a really good way of doing it. Also, I am doing remote trainings if you want to go over the website in particular. It's really handy. I'm doing those occasionally in the mornings, which you can all tune into individually per store, and I just run you over the website, which is quite helpful because there's a lot of information on there. So I don't think I have any more questions by the look of it. So thank you very much for tuning in. If you do have any more questions, feel free to email me. And I will be back next month with the new webinar. Sadly, we won't have Blaze anymore, but do tune in again and I'll let you know what that one will be on. Just have a great week and do feel free to touch base with me. Eurail Europe email addresses, so my name and then Eurail Europe, or you can still send it to the Eurail Plus, the same with the info email. Keep them with Eurail Plus and they will divert to the Eurail Europe email, or you can change it to @Eurail Europe. Cool. Thanks guys. Have a good day.